process.
The world is naturally decarbonizing. It's already happening.
And the free market has a tendency of doing that. When faced with an obvious problem, the free market tends to solve those problems. So now you're talking about hunger or poverty, it eradicates these problems. I would love to go back to James, if I could, Tara, and that is this. As Buck pointed out, we have been forced to indulge this now abstract political, theoretical question of climate change. My question for you is this. The climate change debate never takes into account the concept of cost. Let's assume that there was something that needed to be done and that we could do something. Now, many people suggest you'd have to cut carbon emissions by something like 40, 50% to make any real dent, which is not realistic. But what are the costs of climate change regulations? And I don't know how you make that resonate with people that buy into this on a religious level. Higher gas prices, poor kids in Russia not being able to heat their homes, lights in Africa. Because when energy prices go up, you're going to have to make a story, realize it has a real effect on human beings.
Sure, and any impact on climate would be minimal based upon cutting carbon dioxide emissions. We would have to cut emissions in a manner that is implausible. We just can't do it to have any measurable impact on climate. But here's the point that I think that you're touching on that's very important. These solutions that are being advocated by the United Nations and others are very costly solutions. And the money that they want to be transferred from the Western democracies to the third world aren't getting to the people. They're just getting to the crony organizations that are tied to governments. But if we instead were to encourage and champion policies and programs that encourage wealth creation, that allow people to have more money so that their homes could be more hurricane-proof. When you look at the homes that were destroyed, many of these homes would not have been destroyed if they'd been built up to Western democratic standards. If you have wealth in a society, they can handle these situations better. And that's why, for example, looking at the United States, rather run-of-the-mill hurricanes would kill hundreds of people back 100 years ago. Now they don't. So I think the best way to reduce human misery in events like this is to make sure that we have policies in place that allow people to have inexpensive energy so they have more money left over for stronger housing and for other infrastructure that will help them weather the storm.